So today I finally went out and I finished the corner brace on the far side of the field. I welded in those 2 angle braces and it's done. That's probably the last welding that we're gonna do now. All the rest of these braces we're actually gonna put together a little bit differently, and we're not gonna use a welder, so it should actually go a little bit quicker from here on out. So now that that's done, it is ready to be painted, but the first thing I need to do is I need to go out there and we're going to use some, instead of rust prevention, we're actually going to use a rust converter on the pipes and get them ready for paint. So we're going to be using a rust converter, and it is called OSFO. And this is actually going to change the rust on the pipe so it's like an inert layer, and it will protect the pipe, and then it'll be ready for paint. But the weird thing about it is this is actually phosphoric acid, more or less, that's in here. So we're gloved up, we're gonna be careful. It's really thin like water, and we're gonna brush it on there and just get everything coated. And tomorrow, I think about like 24 hours, it should be ready for paint. You can, ooh, it's got a strong acid whiff there. Whew, I can almost taste it. And, but anyway, you can actually spray this on, and I tried doing that and it seemed like I got way too much on because it's so thin. So I'm trying to brush it on instead, because I think I used like a half a gallon of this on like 10 pipes. Like I went through it real quick. So that's why I'm using a brush. So I recruited Rebecca to come out here tonight and help me. And there is skunks. There's 3 skunks just past the truck. So she's keeping her eye out.
They're babies.
Yeah, they're baby skunks. But there's probably a mama somewhere close. So as we look at this post right here, I've got some concrete on it. I'm just gonna have to clean that off with a wire wheel, and then I can coat it. But the thing about the acid is it will eat this concrete too. So you don't wanna get too much on the concrete. Out here it's not really matter, but if you were doing it in a garage, you wouldn't want to do it in a garage because it will etch your concrete. So this is definitely something you want to do outside. See if you guys can see that. It got on the concrete and it's bubbling. That acid is eating into the concrete. So you just gotta be careful with it. So this morning we're gonna go out, we're gonna start driving some T-posts. We're gonna take the viewer comments, suggestions, probably like 100 people suggested that I paint a line where 5 feet is sticking out of the ground, and it'll make it easier to drive them in the ground. So that's what we're doing. We got some orange paint. So to line these up, we made sure that the tops are right in line, and that's what you gotta look at, because these fins are all over the place, and if you look at the bottom of the post, they're all over the place. So now we're just gonna measure down and paint it. So I've already come through here and spray painted where each one of these T-posts go. I'm just gonna go ahead and lay them all out. Rebecca's gonna drive the tractor and I'm just gonna unload. So here's a quick look at the posts that we put the rust converter on last night. You can see these vertical posts, they turn out pretty good. They've darkened up quite a bit, and it's still darker at the bottom. I think some of the acid has gone down and it looks a little wet down there still. So Rebecca's tying a string off to this corner brace, and then we're gonna run it down the fence so that we know where to put our T-posts in. On this one you can see that if you get too much of that acid on there, or that phospho or whatever it's called, it turns white because it combines with moisture, like with water from condensation. And this is just a white powder, supposedly it rubs off, but that's just probably from putting too much on. I went and bought a longer string. This is 500 foot, so this ought to reach. I think we've only got 300 feet to go.
Oh, it came off. I'm not very good at tying.
What kind of knot did you put on the other end?
Apparently a slip knot.
Well, I can't blame Rebecca. It must be a bad spot in the spool because it just broke in half. Looked like it was melted a little bit. Well, now my 500 foot roll of string is a 400 foot roll of string. All right, we got our string ran. We're gonna go ahead. Rebecca's gonna hold the posts at each location. I'm gonna drive them with the tractor, and hopefully this will go fairly quickly. So we started out and our posts were a little bit crooked, a little bit zigzagged. So we pulled a few out and we got Rebecca a level. So now she can make sure everything's perfectly plumb to the string before we drive it, and it's going a lot better now. I'm gonna go ahead and show you a zoomed in shot with my phone. So as we look down this fence line, it's not perfect. Some of the posts aren't perfectly straight, but that is all the way down to the other end. That's 1,200 feet of fence right there. I guess that's 1,200 feet of fence posts. But there is one missing. There was a stump, like right where we needed to put it. So I'm gonna have to come back later and pull that little bitty stump out and put the post in. But this run is pretty much done now except for paint. So right here next to the driveway, we've got most of our fence posts, or at least we have all of them, from this point down toward the workshop in, but we're missing a small section, I think probably close to 80 feet right in here that we're missing. So we got probably 7 T-posts, and we've got one of these pipe support posts to put in. We're gonna put this one in first, and that'll be the real test for the little post driver on the tractor, because we haven't had rain for over 2 weeks. The ground is rock hard, and this will really, I think, put it to the test. So one thing that is in our favor is this post, this pipe post that we need to put in. It is in the low point in this area, and a lot of times the low points have a little bit more moisture. The soil's a little bit softer, so it may drive in a lot easier than I think. All right, we just finished up. We got all the posts in that we were missing in this section, and this pipe post actually went in a lot easier than I thought it was going to, probably since it was in a low spot. But we have one more that we need to put in, and it's over kind of near the pine trees. It's in a high spot, and I guarantee it's going to drive a lot harder. So let's see if we can get that one in the ground. Well, we're able to drive this post in this hard, it was definitely harder soil right here in these hard, dry clay soil. And you can tell it just slightly starts to mushroom the top of this pipe. Makes it just a little bit fatter at the top. So afterwards, what I've been doing is I'll take a grinder and I'll kind of round this off and soften that edge, and then I'll spray paint the top to touch it up, because it does kind of scratch probably the first 3 or 4 inches at the top of this post. It is going to mar it up a little bit. So that's what I do to touch them up afterward. And then I'll put one of these caps on top of it. So that's another fence run that is ready to pull fence. That's a total, we have a total of 5 runs that are all complete now, except for that one post where I need to go pull a stump. And basically I still need to go paint those posts over there. So I'm gonna go work on that. PJ is gonna be here in probably 3 hours, maybe 2 hours from now. And then he's gonna do the AI process, the final insemination on the dairy heifers. And hopefully they're pregnant after that. But I'm gonna go paint some pipe and we'll come back when PJ's here. All right, PJ's here. He got out all of his equipment. I think he's got a tank over there.
A tank of, yes, semen straws.
And that's like a nitrogen tank?
Yes, it has about 32 centimeters of liquid nitrogen in the bottom of it.
So it's really cold, right?
Yeah, it's really cool.
And how long does that stay good for in there?
They come and fill it every 8 to 10 weeks.
And how long is this, like the semen, good?
Semen will be good as long as it stays frozen.
So as long as you keep filling that up, you can use, you can
Yes.
save it and use it the next year or 2
Yes,
years after
yes.
that. So we've got Ellie and Maya back here ready to run through the chute, and we're going to impregnate them. We got 2 different types of bulls that
Yes.
we're using. One is going to be an Angus bull with a low birth weight.
Very, very low birth weight.
Very low. I can't talk. And that's going to be, that's better because they're heifers. They've never had any.
Yes.
And they're small, and it'll just it'll ease that process.
Yes.
Right? And then the other one is a Wagyu, and that's actually a little bit smaller than an Angus.
Yes, it's probably about the same size as the Jersey cows.
Oh,
breed,
okay.
So.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to try, Angus and Wagyu. And we just got to run them through the chute, and PJ's going to work his magic.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Right. Maya may go in. Go ahead. Go ahead. Don't get in here backwards like you did the other day, Maya. Oops. One of them's going to go. Yeah, it will be. It is set for Ellie.
There we go.
And this is the Angus,
This
right?
is the Angus.
So he took it out of the nitrogen tank and he's got it in this little warmer right here. And once it's warmed up, PJ's gonna work his magic, and hopefully Ellie will have a Angus calf in the spring.
All right. Like I said, I don't think we're gonna palpate her.
Oh, I'm pushing the wrong way. You gotta push forward, pull back. There you go. your head through there.
There's not feed up there though.
You're gonna make me. Okay, he's in.
She's super predictable.
The Wagyu is in chamber number 6. Haru should be right there, out in the water, back in there. Ding.
There you go, Maya.
Here we go, Maya.
Hopefully you're gonna be a mama. Yeah. So you've got your shot.
Got
and
your
then
shot?
You've got your other shot. So she's ready to go, right?
Yes.
All right. There you go, Maya. On out. So PJ just finished up, and PJ's Prime Cut
Cattle.
at gmail.com. Is that what it
Yes.
was? Yeah, that's his email address. I'll put it on the screen. I'll put it down below. And you're in the Vandalia,
Greenville area.
Greenville area of Illinois, if you guys are looking for somebody to help you out. And Ellie, so we had problems with Ellie. Her cedar
The cedar
didn't stay
came
in.
out, yes. So the shots should still cycle her through her cycle. So then that's why we still continued to give her the shots and did the AI process on her today.
So there's basically, she should still be going into heat.
Yes.
Like today, tomorrow, whatever, right?
Yes.
You're right in this time period. So there's still a chance, even though it fell out, there's a chance she could still
Yes.
get pregnant. So we went ahead and did everything else. Mm-hmm. And she was smaller. She's like super small.
She's super small.
Very small. So
So I didn't want to palpate her, so that's why we just
and when you say palpate her, you mean like put
yes,
your hand
put
inside
hand inside
and find the right slope spot. Let's
Yes.
put it that way.
So with not doing that, we put 2 straws of semen in her. So
So basically, it's kind of like the old-fashioned way.
Yes.
Like if a bull would have did it.
yes,
Instead of being like real precise on where you put it. So there's a chance that she can still get pregnant,
yep.
and that's what we're hoping for. But we just did it a little differently since she's so small, and that didn't stay in. But there's still a chance. So it should be a decent chance. We'll wait and see what happens. He gave us a pregnancy test that we can send
Yes.
in.
In about 28 days or more than 28 days, then we can draw blood and send the tubes in and get pregnancy tested.
Yeah, he walked Rebecca through that, so Rebecca will probably be taking their blood. We'll be sending it. Hopefully we do it right, or else we'll be calling him for some help. But I really want to thank PJ for coming out and helping us with
Helping
this.
us.
I know he had
Yep.
to travel a decent distance twice now to help get our dairy heifers pregnant, and we got high hopes.
We do.
Yeah.
So,
So anyway, I'll leave his information down below if you guys are looking for somebody to help AI cattle in
Central Illinois.
Central Illinois. So it looks like 30 days from now, we're going to wait about 35 days, right?
5 weeks.
5 weeks. And Rebecca's going to perform a pregnancy check.
Well, I'm going to draw some blood and send off.
So you got to draw it from the tail, send it in. Sounds like it'll take a week or so to find out.
Yep.
So probably be like 6 weeks. Then hopefully we'll know whether they're pregnant or not.
Yep.
At least we'll know, right? And we don't have to pay like a vet to come out and do some kind of weird pregnancy check. It's awesome that there's a way you can mail it in.
And we don't have to wait 9 months. See what happens.
Yeah, that's true also. So we're going to wait and see what it ends up being, and then we'll make a decision from there if they're both not pregnant.
Yep.
So there's a chance we could try this again, and these would be spring calves if they are pregnant, spring of next year, and we could try again, and it could be possibly like a fall calf for next year. We're just gonna have to wait and see how it all pans out, but hopefully at least one of them's pregnant.
Yep.
Yeah, hopefully both of them are. So, but anyway, it's been a long, hot day today, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
Yeah, Rebecca doesn't. Even though she grew up, we were talking about this. She grew up in Florida without air conditioning, and for some reason, until she was what, 10,
Yep.
11, somewhere in there, and then she moved up here. But she is not used to the heat anymore.
No, I can't stand it. In the summer, the air conditioner is my best friend.
Yeah, so we took a few breaks. It wasn't too bad, but she was a big help today on the fence posts, getting those put in. I can't run that driver by myself.
Yeah.
Not very easily, that's for sure. I have tried, and I've been successful, but it's a lot of trial and error to try to get a fence post in the tractor and in the right spot. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think we got quite a bit done today. Probably didn't film as much. Probably didn't look like it on camera, but we did get painting done. That's done. That wasn't on camera, and hopefully we're planning on start putting fence up in I think 2 or 3 days. So looking for some big progress here pretty soon.
It'll look totally different.
It will, yeah. It'll be a lot easier to set up temporary fence too. So anyway, I think that's going to be it for this video. Rebecca's ready to go cool off.
I need a shower.
Yeah, me too. So thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.